hymn to life. The wind rests its cheek upon the ground and feels the cool damp, and lifts its head with twigs and small dead blades of grass, pressed into it as you might at the beach rise up and brush away the sand. The day is cool and says, I'm just staying overnight. The world is filled with music, and in between the music, silence. And varying the silence, all sorts of sounds, natural and man-made. There goes a plane, some cars, geese that honk, and not here, but not so far away, a scream so rending that to hear it is to be never again the same. Why, this is hell. Out of the death-breeding soil here rises emblems of innocence, snowdrops that struggle easily into life and hang their white enamel heads toward the dirt, and the yellow grass are small, wild in the yellow grass are small, wild crocuses from hills. Goats have cropped to barrenness. The corms come by mail, are planted, then to do the thing, to live. To live. So natural and so hard as it seems it must be for green spears to pierce the all but frozen mold and insist that they too, like mouse-eared chickweed, will live. The spears lengthen. The bud appears and spreads. Its seed capsule fattens and falls. The green turns yellowish and withers, stretched upon the ground. In Washington, magnolias were in bud. In Charlottesville, early bulbs were up, brightening the muck. Tomorrow will begin another spring. Not one gets many, one at a time, like a long-awaited letter that one day comes. But it may not say what you hoped, or distraction robs it of what it once would have meant. Spring comes, and the winter weather here may hold. It is arbitrary, like the plan of Washington, D.C., avenues and circles and asphalt web, and no one gets younger, which is not for the young, true, discovering new freedoms at 20, a relief not to be a teenager anymore. One of us had piles, another water on the knee, a third a hernia. A strangulated hernia is one of life's pleasant bits of news, and only one, at 20, moved easily, all the galleries to pill-free sleep. Oh, it's not all that bad. The sun shines on my hand, and the myriad lines that crisscross it tell the story of nearly 50 years. Sorry, it's too long to relate. Once, when I was young, I woke at first light and, sitting in a rocking chair, watched the sun come up beyond the houses across the street. Another time I stood at the cables of a liner and watched the wake turning and turning upon itself. Another time I woke up, and in a bottle on a chest of drawers the thoughtful doctor had left my tonsils. I didn't keep them. The turning of the globe is not so real to us as the seasons turning and the days that rise out of the early gray. The world is all cutouts then, and slip or step steadily down the slopes of our lives where the emotions and needs sprout. I need you, tree that dominates this yard, thick-waisted, tall, and crooked-branched. Its bark scales off like that which we forget. Pain, an introduction at a party. What precisely happened umpteen years or days or hours ago, and that same blue jay returns. Or perhaps it is another. All days are one to me, but not the sun, which seems at each rising new, as though in the night it enacted death and rebirth, as flowers seem to do. The roses this June will be different roses, even though you cut an armful and come in saying, "Here are the roses," as though the same blooms had come back, white freaked with red and heavily scented, or a cut branch of pear blooms before its time, forced. Time brings us into bloom and we wait, busy but wait, for the unforced flow of words and intercourse and sleep of dreams